You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, September the 24th. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Former OBA Premier Craig Cannonier was today officially sworn in as opposition leader at Government House. Mike Sharp reports.
Cannonier replaces Gene Atherton, who suffered a no-confidence vote. Cannonier, flanked by family members and political colleagues, quickly addressed the mistake he made by accepting a free ride on a private jet that led to Jetgate.
That my political career has been very colorful, hasn't it? I've experienced the good, the bad, and even the ugly part of politics. The thrill of victory, and of course, the pain and agony of defeat. The realities of public service. The greatest low was after having been given advice, I took a flight on a private jet plane to sell Bermuda. And in my naivety, I made the error, an error of judgment. And for this, Bermuda, I humbly apologize. To you, my family, for the difficult time that it provided you, something you didn't ask for. To my colleagues, I apologize. I was taught from a young man, from my mother, coming along down in St. David's, that if you fall, the greatest thing that you can do for yourself is to get up. I was taught coming along by the church that when you fall, you must get up. Learn from it and chart a new course. And so I stand before you, a humbled man, an experienced politician, yet with a clear conscience.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Now that Craig Cannonier is officially the opposition leader, he must undergo a separate process to become the leader of the OBA. As things stand, the acting leader is MP Leah Scott. The move to oust Gene Atherton without following OBA internal rules, raising questions over the future of that party. Tarai Trott sat down today with Chairman Justin Matthias.
Craig Cannonier is now the opposition leader. How do you feel about that?
He was sworn in today. I think everyone's seen the media over the last couple of days, and he's now the opposition leader. I was there in attendance this morning, and I witnessed the swearing in, and he gave a good speech.
Now, you said Mr. Cannonier used the Bermuda Constitution to override the OBA Constitution by going directly to the governor, and you felt it was up to you as the chairman to go to the governor. But surely he has a right to go to the governor to demonstrate that he commands support from the majority of opposition MPs, as the Bermuda Constitution allows.
Let me just say this. I have no qualms about Mr. Cannonier becoming the opposition leader. And it's not Mr. Cannonier who can appoint himself. The 8 MPs signed a letter to the governor, and they recommended that he become the opposition leader. That is the Constitution. That's how the Constitution is written, and it's fine. But there's a precedence in this country in political parties, and you go through the political party first. The chairman of whatever political party, PLP or OBA, sends a message to the governor, and the governor appoints either the opposition leader or the premier or the deputy premier.
Your party is in crisis mode. You're about to appoint your 4th leader in just over 12 months. Your previous leader lasted just 9 months on the job, and now we're in a scenario whereby the opposition leader and the party leader are 2 different people. Is it safe to say that the One Bermuda Alliance is a wounded animal in distress?
No, I wouldn't say that, and I wouldn't say that we're in crisis. You have 8 MPs out of 11 MPs agreeing to what they agreed to. So, you know, we hear about this great split. It's not a split. They have a majority. They've clearly said that this is what they want to do. It is now up to them, and it's up to Mr. Cannonier to go out into the membership and clarify why they went about doing it that way, and why didn't they use the party framework to get what they wanted to achieve. I understand that it is to prepare for November. We're going back into the House on November 9th for the throne speech, and I know that everyone is anxious to get prepared for that. But we do a disservice to our membership if we do not go through the OBA Constitution and we do not honor the Constitution, because then what's the sense of being OBA?
Your former Senator Nick Kemp quoted today as saying the only hope left for the OBA is for all of the former UBP MPs to resign, disappear. Is he right?
I think it's a huge generalization. I've said this ever since I stepped foot and ever since I've had a position within the OBA, that it is of my view that we have to move past our BDA and UBP merger. We have to get to a point, and we will get to that point, and maybe not in the near future, but we will get to a point where there will be no remnants of the BDA, there will be no remnants of the UBP.
Should they resign or not?
I'm saying that we are going to get to a place where the UBP, and there won't be no UBP members and there won't be any BDA members. We have to move past the merger. Alliance in political science, the word alliance is the weakest word that you can have. So I won't say that, okay, listen, it was a bad name to call it the One Bermuda Alliance, but you do not name a political party an alliance, because right there you are dividing.
And watch our broadcast tomorrow night when we'll bring you part 2 of Tarai's interview with the OBA chairman on other topics. So we'll have more for you after the break, including a report on sobriety testing that took place over the weekend and the latest weather news. Stay with us.
More people today rely on Mailboxes U.S. Express to bring their internet shopping into Bermuda than any other shipping service. Why? Because it's cheaper, quicker, and our staff are friendlier. Large international couriers charge more than $80 to bring a 1-pound package into Bermuda. When you use U.S. Express, you pay only $19.50. So when you're shopping online, trust the service that brings in more packages to Bermuda than anyone else. Mailboxes U.S. Express. Sign up today.
Healthy people and healthy communities.
The Ministry of Health is presenting their 8th annual Celebrating Wellness event, September 26th at Bars Bay Park, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is a free event for the whole family, featuring music, free health screenings, healthy food vendors, career skills development, and much more. Be healthy, stay healthy. Come and celebrate wellness with the Department of Health. This is a message from the Government of Bermuda.
New Toyota Rush, Bermuda's biggest SUV with 7 seats. There's always plenty of room. Available at Bermuda Motors.
From the very beginning, it was always our singular focus to do whatever it takes, use every possible resource to fight cancer, and never lose sight of the patients we're fighting for. Our cancer treatment specialists share the same vision. Experts from all over the world working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. And these are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com. Appointments available now.
Welcome back. Well, a high-speed chase as the Bermuda Police Service began roadside sobriety testing over the weekend. Gary Moreno and cameraman James Barboza spent part of Saturday night with members of the Roads Policing Unit as the new initiative began in earnest, resulting in a number of arrests for drunk driving.
Officers from the Road Policing Unit under Chief Inspector Robert Caldwell began taking up positions at Crow Lane at around 11 o'clock on Saturday night. Things got off to a smooth start with a number of vehicles being stopped for preliminary tests, where drivers were observed by police officers for any possible signs of intoxication before they were allowed to move on once it was determined they were in the clear. However, that did not mean the Crow Lane exercise would be uneventful. Not long after this checkpoint had been set up, a bike came speeding off Corkscrew Hill with police vehicles giving chase. Within what appeared to be a few seconds, the would-be escapee was headed back the wrong way on the westbound lane of Crow Lane and back up Corkscrew Hill. His attempt to elude capture came to an end at the corner of Shelton and Middle Roads after he collided with another vehicle, came off his bike and was taken into custody. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured. With word now spread that the officers were on Crow Lane, traffic flow through the area slowed significantly. That meant a move further up the road to Rural Hill. It was here the first stop leading to a secondary test would occur. Mr. Cardwell explained the process.
What you can expect when you come upon a police officer at a road sobriety checkpoint, that police officer is called an assessing officer. That assessing officer is going to ask you a couple of questions. The questions are, where are you coming from? Where are you going? And have you had any alcohol tonight? Whilst you're answering those questions, the officer's assessing you. He's listening to your speech to see if it's slurred. He's smelling for alcohol. He's looking at your eyes. If you hit any of those factors and he suspects that you have had a drink, then he'll send you to a secondary officer. The secondary officer is then going to run you through a field checklist. That field checklist could include doing some tests, which could be heel to toe, walking 9 steps. It could be standing on one leg. It could be touching your finger to your nose.
Failing those tests means the officer will reach for the little black box. That box contains the roadside testing device.
So the roadside testing device that we use is a precursor. It's a preliminary testing device. It's not evidential. So if you fail that preliminary device, and obviously we have reasonable probable grounds to suspect you're impaired, you'll be arrested. You're taken to the police station, and at the police station you're given an opportunity to supply breath on the alcometer. That alcometer result is the evidential.
And as to word of the checkpoint locations being spread via social media, as was the case on Saturday night, Mr. Cardwell doesn't see that as thwarting the effort.
Not at all, because we're moving around pretty quickly as well. We expect social media to catch up with us, as in anything that we do. Even we go out and shoot laser for speed checks. It gets out there very quickly, so we move on to another location.
The main complaint on the night was about traffic pileups as a result of the checkpoints. That was dealt with by pausing the exercise every so often before resuming again. Mr. Cardwell expressed satisfaction, though, with the general reaction from the public.
Generally, people have been expecting this. We did a lot of media in the lead-up. So generally, people are expecting us here. They know what we're doing. Obviously, we've had some negative feedback. But you know what? It blows over. We make sure that we're the ultimate professionals. We don't react to negativity, so we're here, we do the processing very quickly and get people moving very quickly.
The plan is to have all of the Bermuda Police Service trained to do the roadside sobriety testing in order to cover as much of the island as possible on any given night. The Chief Inspector, in conclusion, giving this piece of advice.
Don't take the chance. Don't drive drunk. I think that's the message that we're trying to get out there. This is not about catching people drunk driving. This is as a deterrence. So we want you to know that we're here, and if that stops you from driving whilst impaired, then we're winning, and everybody's a winner, and we're saving lives.
Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Gary. Well, in other news, 36 employees from several different companies have been left without health insurance coverage, despite, in at least one case, thousands of dollars in health insurance deductions being made from the worker's salary. Jasmine Patterson has that story.
8 local companies have been publicly listed for failing to provide health insurance policies for its workers, of which 36 people have been affected. Listed among some of the companies were construction firms, a betting shop, and a restaurant, which, according to Bermuda Health Council records, did not provide evidence of having an active insurance policy for their workers as of the 17th of this month. The Bermuda Health Council requires all local insurers to report businesses with inactive and terminated policies with claims not being paid. The Health Insurance Act states that all employees working more than 15 hours a week for more than 2 months per year must be provided with health insurance by their employer through a local insurer licensed by the BHC.
We always call them and let them know that we have the intention to publish, and we find that many people are able to become compliant. The other factor that influences the degree of compliance is when we take matters to court. So you may be aware that recently the Health Council did collaborate with the Department of Public Prosecutions to initiate court action in respect of 3 non-compliant employers.
The employer may deduct up to half of the cost of the health insurance premium from the employee's pay. Unfortunately, they say many employers fail to provide their employees with an active health insurance policy.
The primary reason that employers are giving to us right now as to why they are non-compliant is because many of them are simply not in a financial position to pay the outstanding arrears that are owed to insurers so that they can actually have their policy made active again. That is a concern, and the Health Council has been working with a number of external bodies.
In 2017 alone, the council received 21 complaints and 44 queries related to employer health insurance. 133 employers were named publicly as non-compliant. A minimum of $296,000 was recovered in standard health benefit premiums on behalf of employees. Non-compliant employers were found to owe for either unlawful deductions or outstanding medical bills, and most employees were unaware of the status of their insurance coverage until they sought medical care.
There are employees who've been been taken to court because they have medical bills that they're not able to pay, and those bills would have been covered had they had insurance. I appreciate that we do have many employers who are compliant, and I salute them. But I think it's time to begin to put some faces to the non-compliance, because there are employees who have been injured, who are not able to get medical treatment, and it's simply unfair to them.
An example of this, one worker arrived at his dentist and found he did not have health insurance coverage through his employer. He attended the BHC to file a complaint, and an investigation commenced. It was revealed that the man's employer owed him $5,000 for deductions taken from his pay for insurance they never received. The employer was named on the BHC's list of non-compliant employers, and the matter was deferred to the Department of Public Prosecutions. If you wish to file a complaint or submit queries regarding health insurance coverage, call the BHC on 292-6420 or email healthcouncil@bhec.bm. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, turning to weather news, an absolutely gorgeous day today and a gorgeous evening, as you can see from our tower cam. Will it continue? Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast is brought to us by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group. We are glad that you are tuned in to ZBM this evening. We are watching an area of low pressure. Here it is. It's off to our southwest. There's also a front draped to our north, and that's going to back into us. So we have a few issues on the map nearby, but none of these are going to present too much trouble for us, and we are able to at least move through this particular part of hurricane season without too much trouble, and that's good news. You can actually see the impact of this front here, sparking a few extra clouds, and that is just to our north and east at this point. It's weakening, and the main thrust of this front is going to miss us to the northeast, so it will deposit a little extra moisture into the neighborhood, and we may see a couple of hit or miss showers over the next 24 hours. The main batch of rain is farther west. That is tied to our area of low pressure that may potentially strengthen some off of the Carolina coast. Temperatures are around 81, humidity at 65%, wind light, and it's maybe a light fresh breeze you might call it, at 8 to 12 knots or so from the northeast. Water temps holding at 84 degrees. On the inside we have 1 to 2 foot waves. On the outside there are 4 to 7 footers with some extra low pressure nearby, and a number of disturbances across the Atlantic basin, keeping most of the seas just a little bit agitated over the open water. Tonight will go partly cloudy with a low of 74 degrees. Nothing too disruptive out there tonight. And then you can see a small craft warning from late Tuesday morning through Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and through Wednesday afternoon as well, with some bigger waves at that time. You can see the tide chart here, if you will, with the tide coming in at 9:13 tonight. It goes back out at 3:25 a.m. High tide again at 9:37 on your Tuesday morning, and then a low tide right smack dab in the middle of the afternoon, Tuesday, 3:42 p.m. So breezy tomorrow. That's what's going to kick up some of those extra waves, clouds and some sunshine, a shower or two. Mainly in the afternoon, will be around 83. So it's getting a little cooler out there. The seasons are just beginning to change on us, and you can see that strong influence of a wind from the north across most of the northern Atlantic. That front that we watched with that little stripe of clouds is going to kind of run out of gas, with just a few extra opportunities for a few showers in the area tomorrow. Meanwhile, the area of low pressure is going to churn near the east coast of the U.S. with some rain, but it doesn't look like a major one. We haven't talked about subtropical storm Leslie because that is such a distance away to the east that it's not going to be a factor for us at all. And we'll skip that one and move on with our lives. Scattered showers and thunderstorms into Jamaica. Mainly nice weather into Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados. Into eastern parts of North America, we are wet in New York and Boston. Toronto also wet with a chance for thunderstorms. Into Atlanta, 86 there. They had some flash flooding earlier today, northwest of town. And into Miami, looking at some showers and storms. London looks cooler, 62, certainly a fall feel there. So a few hit or miss showers Tuesday afternoon. Then we're going to go dry for the balance of the week. Temperatures in the low 80s for highs, mid 70s for lows. Back to you.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I was diagnosed with illness. Very frightening because my son had just turned 1 and it was a cancer. So I'm young, new baby, and I needed to get the care that I knew would be definitive so that I wanted to be around for him for a very long time. I got in contact with BF&M, and BF&M was able to commit at that time to doing at least 50%, so we were comfortable, okay, well, we're gonna go. We got off the plane, actually, the day of the procedure, and on my way to the limo, my case manager called and she says, Kiana, we got it, you're covered at 100%. And I cried all the way to the office because I was just so happy. The BF&M difference is that I really felt that the case manager really was concerned about my overall care. And because of that, I really appreciated them. I think that personal care, that willingness to listen, and then to work until they were able to get it so that I could get full coverage really made the difference for me.
At Big Savings Zone, we believe your children deserve a happy space to call their own, full of color and excitement, where their imagination can take flight from fun to functional. We have a delightful selection of kids' furniture built with the same quality that you've come to know and trust at our everyday low prices. Create a room that your little ones will love only at Big Savings Zone. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Located in the Commercial Park, Southside, St. David's. Call 297-4440 or click BigSavingZone.com. Big Savings Zone, making your house a home.
I was first diagnosed as a diabetic back in 2000. I was 222 pounds. I used to feel sickly all the time, like a lot of ailments, back pains, this. We meet as a group, as well as we do have individual one-on-one consultations with the doctor.
This is just providing guidance upon the type of healthy foods that will help people better manage and hopefully reverse their diabetes.
But the group setting gives you encouragement, you get feedback. You know, if you see somebody out in the street, hey, how you doing? How you making out?
The aim of the one-year program is to provide that support to try and make it as easy as possible for people to make those changes.
I had lost 22 pounds. I was going down. Now I'm feeling a lot more comfortable. I feel like you actually do feel lighter. You know, you feel more energized.
If you're a diabetic and you say, you know, I really would like to get a better control on this, such patients who have that type of motivation, this is an ideal program for them.
From sunup to sundown, a dedicated team of highly skilled workers using state-of-the-art technology quietly work to keep Bermuda moving. Bermuda's national and commercial institutions and its people rely on goods imported through Polaris from across the globe. Over 30,000 containers are unloaded each year, representing everyday goods, groceries, vehicles, and so much more. Polaris Holding Company is the powerhouse group behind Bermuda's docks, with interests in heavy equipment and real estate. Polaris is quietly powering Bermuda.
Bad news for the island's gross domestic product, as quarterly GDP was estimated about $1.3 billion, a 0.4% decrease year over year. The main driver was a $23 million decline in gross capital formation. Household final consumption contracted 0.5% to $612.5 million after adjusting for inflation. Government consumption increased 3.2% due to largely an increase in salaries for public officers. Gross capital formation decreased $23 million, or 11%. In contrast, capital formation related to construction registered a modest 0.5% increase during the period. The net surplus on trade in services and goods increased $21 million, or almost 7%, due primarily to a fall in the imports of goods. Imports of goods, which have a downward effect on GDP growth, fell nearly 10%. Exports of services rose 1.8% during the period. In contrast, payments for the imports of services rose 5.3%, due mostly to construction and engineering services and consultancy services. Exports of goods registered a 6.6% decline during the period. Still to come, Royal Basin will have all the latest sports news in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Bassett, custom designs by you at Furniture Walk. So, how do you like it? Choose your arm style, then select your pieces. special order exactly what you want. Your style, your way. Sofa, love seat, chair, sectional, you name it. Bassett, your style, your way at Furniture Walk.
This is Jane. Jane has been living independently until her recent fall. Because of the injury she sustained, her mobility is now limited. Jane chose Bermuda Inn Home Care to assist her with her activities of daily living. The caregivers at Bermuda Inn Home Care are trained to care for individuals with limited mobility. They incorporate exercise and activities into Jane's care plan given by her doctor and physiotherapist. The caregiver helps the family select the right medical equipment from Lighthouse Medical Supplies. Lighthouse Medical Supplies have certified durable medical equipment specialists available to help. Falls are the #1 cause of injury in older adults. Falls lead to head injuries and hip fractures. Fall prevention is critical. Call Bermuda Inn Home Care to speak to one of our home care specialists. Call us now for a free home care assessment, 705-4424, or visit us at www.bermudainhomecare.com.
Turning to sports, the Bermuda men's national rugby sevens team finished strong in Barbados. Earl Basin has the details and so much more in tonight's sports report.
With a 24-7 win over Mexico, Bermuda have finished third in Barbados, competing in the Rand Sevens. Bermuda defeated Trinidad and Tobago 26-19 to advance to the semi-final, and in the semi-final, Bermuda took on the defending champions Jamaica, but fell 14-5. In the women's competition, the Bermuda women would fall 24-10 to Bahamas. Bermuda would then face off against the Dominican Republic, going down 41-0. In their final match, Bermuda would go down 32-0 to Guyana. In Premier Division football action on Saturday at the Southampton Oval, the Dandytown Hornets traveled and defeated Paget Lions 4-1. The Dandytown Hornets will get 2 goals from Kawande Lathan and Angelo Simmons, while Akale Bean scored the lone goal for Paget. In other Premier Division matches, it was BAA 6, Boulevard Blazers 1, North Village Rams 2, Crossroads 3. In First Division play, it was Hamilton Parish 0, St. George's Colts 0, Somerset Eagles 4, Island Rangers 1, Vasco 0, Wolves 0, Flanagan's Onions 2, Young Man Social Club 2, Southampton Rangers 2, St. David's 0. Nicky Wells and his Queen's Park Rangers teammates' recent upsurge in form was brought to an end on Saturday as Norwich City kept up their good run by recording a third straight Sky Bet Championship victory at Loftus Road with a 1-0 win. Meanwhile, Willie Clemens and his Bowden's BK teammates defeated Horizon 5-0 in Swedish football. Dante Levrock and his JK Never Trends teammates defeated Paid 5-2 in Estonia football, and over in Iceland, Zico Lewis and his HK Kapavaraj teammates went down 2-0. Dennis Mbalenzi and Ashley Irby were crowned the Zurich 5K male and female champions in the East End yesterday. Mbalenzi crossed the line in a time of 16:45. Teddy Shum was second in 17:02. Tim Price was third in 17:30. Irby crossed the line 8th overall with a time of 19:13. Jessie Marshall was the second female finisher and 10th overall with a time of 19:45. And Melissa Logie rounded out the top 3 female finishers, finishing 11th overall with a time of 19:51. Meanwhile, Rosanna Hoy competed in the Causeway Coast Ultra Marathon in Ireland. The Causeway Coast Ultra Marathon covers a distance of 40 miles. Hoy was crowned the female champion after crossing the line 6th overall, stopping the clock in 6 hours, 10 minutes, and 49 seconds. Micah Franklin competed in the Kiva Club Squash Open in New Mexico. Franklin, the 8th seed, would take on the tournament number 2 seed, Sajan Khan from Pakistan, and went down in straight games in their quarterfinal match. Franklin lost the first game 11-9. He would fall 11-5 in the second game, and then would go down in the third game 11-8. Trey Mallory competed in the Puerto Rico Bull ITF Fall Edition 2018 tennis tournament. Mallory was paired with Charles Dossetter from Great Britain, and the pair were ranked 4th in the doubles. The pair took on Cameron Moffat and Ty Switzer from the USA. Mallory and Dossetter advanced to the semifinals with a straight set 7-5, 6-1 win. In their semifinal, Mallory and Dossett would go down in straight sets 6-4, 6-4 to Quinn Matlog and James Tracy from the USA. The Bermuda Basketball Elite City League continued with a doubleheader inside the Summersfield Academy Gymnasium that produced a total of 258 points. Game 1 saw the Hornets defeat the Storm 87-62. The Hornets were led by Kevin Stevens, who scored a game-high 31 points. Kurt Gershon scored 18 points for the Storm. Game 2 saw the Falcons defeat the Lions 62-47. Ryan Walker scored 16 points for the Falcons, while the Lions were led by Seth Hartman, who had 10 points. I'm Earl Basden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. Well, that's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer, and I hope to see you at the same time tomorrow. Have a great night.